coaching can be as simple as asking just one high quality question. And let's not make it any more complicated than that. So what is the right sort of question to ask? Well, if you really want to open a person's mind up, we'll ask a question designed to open the mind. And I find for myself, there's a technique that I use quite a lot, but very often where I've got a problem. So rather than starting with a goal, I might have a problem and I want to find a solution to it. So let's take, for example, my problem is I haven't got enough time to complete a project. It could be I haven't got enough money for a project. Time and money are very common problems for people. But notice when people talk about problems, they're really talking in statements. And the more that I say to myself, I've got a problem, I've got a problem, I've got a problem, that's hindering. So we're going to actually use a different thinking component, not a statement. We're going to use a question and we're going to flip a hindering statement into a helpful question. So here's how I would do it. I would say to myself, if I've got a problem with time, what's the most helpful question I can ask myself? The most helpful question is something like, what could I possibly do to ensure this project gets completed on time? Or how could I possibly find more time to devote to this project? What I will then do is write the numbers 1 to 20 just down the side of a piece of paper and then start answering that question 20 times. So what could I possibly do to find more time? I could stop doing this. What else could I possibly do? That. What else? What else? And I'll just keep writing. Because I know, having done this many, many times before and helped many, many people, that actually, once I get to 20, there'll be some good stuff in there. Some answers will have come out. Now, you can show people how to do this, and this is particularly good exercise to use if you're coaching a community group about the same problem. You get everybody to write the problem at the top of the page, because it's much more helpful when it's out of the head and on paper than it is forming a groove inside. Then you give them the question that you design, because you'll be better at designing questions than they are, and start the question with either what possibly or how possibly. And you turn that problem into a solution focused question. Okay? So then get them to write the numbers 1 to 20 down the side. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, everybody starts writing until they've got 20. Now, I can guarantee a couple of things will happen. Some people will do it and be very quick. Some people will be slow. And even though you've told them to write down anything that comes into their mind, some of them will still be evaluating. So if you're doing this in a group, you might have to use a couple of little gentle prompts, saying things like, remember, they're just possibilities. Come, keep the pen moving, keep writing. I even sometimes say to people, imagine I was giving you £10 for every answer that you wrote. Come on, let's earn another £50. Just a little bit of gentle, cajoling encouragement until they get to 20. Okay? Very often, the good ones come out after number 10, because people write the obvious things down, the things that they've already thought about, things that they've done or remembered. The stretch is that 10 to 20. And if somebody finishes ahead of the rest of the group, I say, come on, let's go for 30, because then you'll have more choice than the other people. So let's imagine that you're running this with a small group of 5 or 6 people, and they each came up with 20 things. That's 100 possibilities. Yeah, sure, some will be duplicates. But what you could then even do is you could show people how that they could do this for themselves and come into a meeting. And when I use this sort of work in the corporate world, I have entry rules into some of my meetings where you don't come in until you've done a mindstorm on this question and you enter the meeting with at least 20 possibilities. So sometimes, we start a meeting and we've got 200 or 300 ideas there. So think about how you could use this, and what I really would advocate you doing is practice using this for yourself. Obviously that's only if you've got a problem, but most people at some time in their life will have a problem. All right, turn the problem into a question, answer it 20 times, then prioritise, then build an action plan from it. That's how to use a Mindstorm.